So this Pistons player is setting James Harden up. He wants him to come this way. This is where he wants the drop coverage. So Isaiah Stewart's got to drop. Like, look at this Pistons player. He's setting up James Harden. If you're Isaiah Stewart, you can't. You have backside help right here. So you can't leave. Like, you just left. It's terrible defense by Saddiq Bey. Please just get ready to guard James Harden now. Why do you gamble here, and it is just... So Killian Hayes sets up James Harden to go this way. Stop. So that's happening here. Saddiq Bey's got to drop into backside help right here. This pass to Harrell can't get made. Remember, if his feet are set, he's in a defensive stance, and a skip pass is made, easy recovery. But, again, this pass can't get made. Okay, if Killian Hayes is going to double the post, stop. Jaden Ivey's got to be ready to rotate. You got to be sliding over here, because when this pass gets made, you have to rotate here, Bogdanovich here, Bey here, and this player goes to the corner. Okay, if you're Killian Hayes and you're guarding the ball, you've got to sprint back, get your feet set, and be in a defensive stance, especially when it's James Harden. See, this isn't good enough from Killian Hayes. Like, you have no chance of guarding James Harden right now. If you're Isaiah Stewart and you're getting into drop coverage right here, you've got to be underneath right here with your feet set in a defensive stance. So you're ready to guard James Harden. Like, that's what you have to do. See, Isaiah Stewart isn't. All he's doing is backpedaling. So now you're letting James Harden snake dribble it back this way. That's going to give Montrezl Harrell infinite time to roll, and these backside defenders are not going to be able to stay long enough. If you're Bogdanovich here, you got back late, you have no chance of guarding Tyrese Maxey. You just don't. So you're going to have to play on his side. You're going to have to force him into this help here, okay? If you don't, you're going to do what I just said was going to happen. Terrible switch. If you're switching this handoff, then what is Alec Burks doing? Get up. You got to be ready to guard off of this screen. If you're switching, is Alec Burks ready to guard? No. Okay, so we got a turnover here. If you're this Pistons player here, you've got to sprint back. Like, this jogging doesn't work. See, look at this jogging. So if you'd been sprinting, you'd be able to communicate. Okay, take this player here, right? But you're jogging, and this is a 3-on-2, and we have problems. What is Nerlens Noel doing? The shot goes up. Stop. You got to get into this player's jersey and box him out. What is that? That is not a box out. What? Okay, so Jaden Ivey was not a defensive stance with his feet set. He gets twisted around. So look at this space. You have zero chance of guarding this handoff with this space. So you got to switch this now. Like, there can't be any talk. This player's got to come up and you got to take Paul Reed. See, Jaden Ivey's going to realize this a little late on that switch. So what is Nerlens Noel doing here? The Pistons are trapping here. Stop. This is where your trap is. So Nerlens Noel's got to stay here. Like, you're just standing in no man's land. Effort level in transition is not good enough. You have to sprint back, get your feet set in a defensive stance at the three-point line. Look at this effort level. Is that any of those things? It's the same thing. If you want to be in the gaps defensively, your feet have to be set. You've got to be in a defensive stance. None of those things apply here. Look at that. Your feet aren't set. You're not in a defensive stance. So look at this. Niang catches this ball. You just took your first step outwards. This is on a switch. You can never switch like this over the top of the screener. You've got to be underneath the screener. Like... Again, this is on a switch. If you're Isaiah Stewart, get in a defensive stance with your feet set. Please, don't just backpedal. Like, you're off balance the minute you backpedal when James Harden's not doing anything. Because now when James Harden is doing something, you're still backpedaling. You cannot anticipate this down screen and try and get ahead early. You got to stay attached to your Tobias Harris and just chase over the top. See, look what happens. You're trying to get over this down screen early. Well, Tobias Harris now is going to go the other way. Okay, if you're Killian Hayes here and you want any hope of boxing out Montrezl Harrell, you got to drive the lower half of your body into Harrell because that's going to move him. You can't just not, like, look at this. This is not good enough. You're not using the lower half of your body to move him. So he's just sticking around in the charge circle. Okay, if you're Killian Hayes right now guarding Tobias Harris in the post stop, you got to get up right now. Because the second Tobias Harris makes any move this way, you've got to be able to make contact with him. See, look at this. Look at Tobias Harris. He's going to make a move this way, and all you're going to do is back up. So now Tobias Harris is just too low now. Again, if you're Jaden Ivey and you want any hope of guarding the ball, you better get your feet set and in a defensive stance at some point. So why not sprint back right now and try and get there? See, what Jaden Ivey's doing right now, look at this. You're never getting in a defensive stance, which means you have zero chance of guarding James Harden. So Killian Hayes is going to set up Tyrese Maxey this way, okay? So if you're Isaiah Stewart, you got to stay up. You can't back, but you have backside help here and here, but you have to stop the ball at some point. See, look at this. Get up. There's backside help right here. If a skip pass gets thrown, this player's in a defensive stance with his feet set, he'll be able to recover. But you can't just let Tyrese Maxey... Okay, so if you're Hamidou Diallo, this shot comes off, you're not getting this rebound. Like, look, the ball's not coming your way, so you need to start sprinting back now. Like, you must. You just standing and staring, see, this is really not good. This is very simple. Nerlens Noel comes to double the ball. This ball gets swung here, Jaden Ivey recovers. So if you're Nerlens Noel, you have to go back to guarding your man. Like, that's how man-to-man defense works. Why is this happening?